you're going to actually help each other articulate your fundamental why. And you're going to do this with a coaching style. And this is a really important tool that you can begin applying, not just in this exercise. But you know how the experience of getting feedback often is really painful? You may have had this experience. I had a job where I spent a year working on a giant production, and it was, across all accounts, a huge success. But because of the nature of the performance review in that job, we acknowledged that it was a big success for a little bit of time and spent most of the time talking about what went wrong over the course of the year and what I was going to need to do differently. And that experience of it basically habitually going to what's wrong is why feedback sucks. You know, it just sucks. We're like, we got to give feedback. And it's like, no, this is just making me feel bad. You know, I'm putting all this work in and I got to get my feedback. Here's a way to feedback for innovation, which is actually starting to move things forward. When you're really up to something, you're not looking for what's going wrong all the time. When you're up to something, you're in your why and you're really going for it. And you're moving things forward. And there's going to be mistakes along the way because that's what innovation is. Innovation is the result of trial and error. So to be able to really get to how do you move that innovation forward, here's the simplest way we know. Here's how you give feedback. You spend a lot of time saying, here's what's working. This is what's going well. Because when you know what's going well, and when someone's saying, yeah, this is great, well, what are you going to do? You're going to keep doing more of that. That gets a positive response. I'm going to keep going for that. That's great to know. That's really valuable information. It's actually more valuable information than the information of here's what went wrong. Because all that learning what went wrong does is it just has you thinking about, I do not want to do that again. And then the other part of that is, it'd be even better if. It'd be even better if. And that's not the same as, okay, now here's what you did wrong. Because actually, even better if builds on those positive strengths. David and I do this after every time we're up here. We do this exact piece of feedback, and it feels good. We feel good afterwards. That's how you should feel with feedback. Like, wow, yeah, I'm going to do this better. That's how it should feel. So we're going to practice that. We're going to practice that in your groups with your fundamental why. And all of you all have been thinking about the fundamental why for you, whether it's in your whole life, it's in your work. But we want to help each other articulate that. And there's a real value in using blue line listening, you know, really hearing what someone's saying and helping them articulate what you hear. Because when someone hears back, when someone's repeated, they get to hear better, more clarity to this very intangible thing inside you. It's really hard to put words on fundamentally why. But when you can work with someone, you know, here's what I heard. And then start to offer feedback. Here's what's working about the way you're saying it. The way you're saying it, not just what you're saying, the way you're saying it. And here's what would be even better if. It'd be even better if you stood up and said it. It'd be even better if you really felt what you were saying. It sounds like you're feeling passion right now. It sounds like you're feeling even some anger right now. It would be even better if you said that, if you expressed that. Just like in the speech we were just watching. You did not need to know what he was saying to really feel that fundamental why. So help each other. You might be surprised what it's like to learn what each other's fundamental why is as well.
This is a skill that we want you guys to have, is that just being able to give feedback to each other that builds you up, not tears you down. And sometimes feedback tears someone down. You want to be able to give feedback that builds a relationship, makes a relationship better and stronger. And so part of this, this process that you're in is actually learning how to coach effectively and coach each other, okay? Because if you never hear feedback, you're not going to get better. So that's the intention of this, okay? And the reason we're bringing the unsaid is that if if you communicate like a robot, you might as well just send an email, because an email strips out all the emotion, a lot of the emotion anyways, you know? So we want you to practice, even though it might be challenging, to start intentionally noticing the unsaid and bringing some of that forward as well as the said. So it's not just the message, it's also how you say it, okay?